Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. And it has been a very beautiful day here in Kisumu. And of course, I want us to look at a very interesting political analysis here. There's this newspaper article that I've just read today, and the title is very interesting. They are saying details, this is it, details of the never-ending Ruto State House crisis talks, and I think you can look at it there. Crisis talks. Ruto is in talks. Now, I think I'll encourage you to grab that article, and I'm not. Maybe you can just search and find out if you can read it online or if you can grab the newspaper, because it will actually open your thoughts on some of the few things that I've been saying in this channel. And I am on record saying that the President, William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, do not have any option. They don't have an escape route, that they only have one choice: to deliver what was promised at the campaign trail. Because they campaigned at a platform of hope, and that everything that former President Uhuru Kenyatta was doing was actually wrong. So they came in the office with the therapy, the medicine, to all the problems that the Kenyan voters were expecting. And this is why the State House has become a den of meetings, talks that have gone to the wee hours of the night. I don't want to just bore you with many of this, and we'll try to look at what has been at the center of William Ruto's days, first 35 days in office. And maybe you can make your own projections in terms of what exactly this is going to turn out to be. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I'm also reminding us about the 50 shillings challenge for us to purchase an extra camera. I believe that by next week, this will be achieved. The target is now, we're just short of the target by I think around 29,000, because we are at 51, around 29,000. And we're still reaching out to you in a special way. Kindly, let's try to push this so that that extra camera will help us in conducting the exclusive interviews that we introduced in this channel. And I'll reveal to you after I buy the camera who next we are going to interview. And I'm telling you, it will be a very interesting interview. The number is up there, 0710 62 78 89, and it will appear Kevin Olo. And may God bless you. Now, when William Ruto went to Ethiopia to launch the Safaricom project in Ethiopia, he came back in the country, I think that was on Sunday, and was met by calls and lobby, and the names that had been shortlisted as the PS had to be edited, and 108 names were actually injected in that list. The people that were not there initially were not in that list, but they were actually injected in the list. This has pointed out to what was actually lobby, because it's believed that after Ruto came back, he held meetings with the people talking about the fate of that process. Now, one of the things that have actually captured State House and William Ruto's diary is infighting about the plum government jobs. The infighting, people are drawing different diagonals to get the attention of the president. From the onset, Ruto had really shown his political supporters that he was out to reward loyalty, that anyone and everyone who stood with him during the campaign had to get a portion from his government. And it is because of that infighting that Rigathi Gachagua was actually confirming and assuring the politicians around them that those who supported William Ruto will be given priority in terms of government jobs. So the infighting in the lobby for these plum jobs have been so keen, And one of the diagonals that has been drawn in this is the power sharing agreement. The power sharing agreement that was between amongst the Kenya Kwanza principles. And amongst the names that were added into that list was the name of Michael Kingi, the brother to Amason Kingi, the Senate Speaker. And his brother was also fronted for a PS post, and his name was added into that list. So perhaps that was part of what Kingi was supposed to get. There have been a question as to whether Musalia Mudavadi got the 30% that they promised and they went to the campaign trail. This is just a bit of what was it. And so this infighting had actually consumed William Ruto's time, because it's one that can threaten the unity of that coalition, and these politicians that are around him might actually want still to benefit from his government. So this is one aspect that have actually been coming out. Now, from that article, it's also emerging that William Ruto's plan to make sure that he reduces on the foreign loans and mobilize funds locally has been pushing him with advisors, demanding or rather advising that he sells some shares in state-owned agencies, in companies and organizations. Now, I want to read for you an excerpt from from this article, and because I don't want to mention a bit of it. Now, as part of his survival strategy, Ruto's administration, after spending sleepless nights to raise money, plans to sell shares in Kenya Electricity Generating Company, Kenya Ports Authority, and Kenya Pipeline Company at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. During the State House crisis meetings running into the wee hours of the morning, option of selling state shares invested in KCB and Safaricom was also discussed. For now, on the radar are state-owned sugar farms named as Zoia, Miwani, Chemelil, Sony, Awendo. Not spared are hotels such as Golf Hotel in Kakamega and Sunset on the shores of Lake Victoria, all operated by the Kenya Tourist Development Authority, headquartered at Hoteli House. The article continues to say that Kenya Meat Commission, Kenya Wine Agencies, KCC, Numerical Matching Complex, and ICDC are also under consideration. That's what that article, that's an excerpt from that article. So it actually shows you on what really has been running. One thing you will have to appreciate from this is that the worry that William Ruto is having, however much it also serves a political posterity, it serves a political benefit, but it also helps solve the problems that are affecting the Kenyan people. The images, I have been in the upcountry, guys, and I can tell you that our political leadership must move with speed, actually, to solve some of, I want to call them, devilish problems. They're problems that, I don't know, we're just getting ourselves into it, or that is how our new way of living. So one of the things that have also been at the center of this is selling shares in government agencies. Now, the other thing that has emerged, and I think this is so bold, is the issue of Kenyan importers having shortages on the dollar. Rigathi Gachagua mentioned that there was a dollar shortage, and the central bank came out to rebuff those allegations, saying that central bank no longer controls the dollar reserves, so the foreign reserves. So this came because now the commercial banks are also into control in that place. So that article is actually saying that some of the insiders are feeling like it's true that there is a problem with the dollar, and the Kenyan importers are finding it difficult because, you know, when that dollar is high or when you don't have it, it becomes of a challenge even to do importation. Now, what is the resultant effect? We're going to look at that, and that's why Ruto must move with speed to solve some of this. Now, apparently, this is what is emerging. You know, we want to collect taxes because what we are collecting is not enough. It's only been used to serve the purpose of paying the salaries in the remuneration to government agencies. So in his plan to bolster the taxes that we are collecting, there are two orders that were received. Number one is that businesses should not be closed because of tax. I totally agree. That was ordered by William Ruto, just to protect the local industries. But again, but then Rigathi Gachagua also said that the tax collection must be friendly. And remember, Rigathi, because he was a man in uniform, has been so vocal and very specific on the issue of the county askaris harassing business people. I can't agree more. That's the truth, that the county askaris must be handled in a manner. They must handle issues in a manner that also is in conformity with the human rights. That it should not breach human rights. So now this is what is emerging. Even some of the people that are around William Ruto, KRA, that's what is in that article, that KRA told the president that some of the people and the companies that were actually in tax evasion, that actually evading paying taxes, are close allies of the president. Now, the president seems to have also asked the KRA that sweep everyone, whether he's my friend or is my enemy, you need to go after everyone. These are all bit of what is happening. But I want to come out of the boardroom crisis meetings and just break this into three things that you can see. And these are some of the projections that we can make. I know one of the guys was telling me, Kevin, I listened to your analysis because I really like the projections. The truth here is, if you look at the web of the kind of things that is happening, there seems to be a low start. What is causing a slow start is a bit of this. Because when William Ruto came into power, the biggest blunder that he did is to become disruptive, to embrace more of they're progressive, but they're disruptive with the status quo. They're disruptive with the status quo because they're serving political purposes. They're serving political roles. So you want to change because you want, you've covered everything as state capture. So because, yes, they're progressive, there seems to be changing, but they're also disruptive in a manner. Disruptive in the way things were being done. I would have advised the president, if I was at liberty, I would have actually allowed the KRA to run rogue on the big companies. There is no way you're still going slow on someone who is owing you billions, and is owing government taxes billions, and you want money, but you're still saying be friend to them. But this negotiation, all this soft stance that are being erected in the tax collection process is actually giving loopholes for people to negotiate across in the boardroom, and maybe this company is gonna pay this powerful person in these cases go down. So that's bit of one thing that I can see, that we are likely going to see a slow start. Now, the other thing that the president must be very keen about is what will be an internal rebellion within government. Internal rebellion. What will this mean? Is when people are not comfortable, when people do not own up to the ideology of uplifting people, the ideology of impacting on the lives of people, because most of what they got looks like a political reward. We should not be treated that someone gets a PS because he's being rewarded. On that ground, he seems to get some immunity from the public, and Ruto must really take charge of everything. And lastly, the civilian rebellion that can be led by anyone that is against William Ruto must really worry him. And it has to take another shape. I don't know what he's going to do, but then bit of the tokenism. I think one thing the president should do, free advice. This is not anything. No one will tell you. Just withdraw from those public gatherings, withdraw from those public harambes, and retreat to State House and work from there, so that you can be concerned of everyone. The more you are coming in the public, and of course, the political president and his deputy are coming to the public to manage the expectations of hustlers. And they're coming to explain to the hustlers what exactly it is. Remember, the people that understood the hustler ideology was Ruto and his deputy and a bit of some few people. So they should actually come out of public gatherings and go to the State House and call the shots from State House. Because I can tell you, this is the truth. In the next 2 or 3 months, there will be unpopular decisions that will have to be made. That's my bold. And I don't know what you think. You can get to us about it.